8 years later in Seoul, South Korea, a woman named Miss Yumi emitted her powers from her hands. She asked the audience and the host if they could see it, but they said they couldn't. This was because it was a status window, only visible to the individual. The status window displayed a list of skills she could use. Her skill was nature-based, allowing her to instantly grow tree vines at will. Everyone in the studio was amazed by her power. 8 years ago, during the dungeon shock, Miss Yumi's power awakened, and she suddenly gained the ability to grow tree vines. She now saved people and worked as a hunter for a living. The materials scavenged from dungeons could be sold for high prices and were more profitable than normal jobs. Higher-ranking dungeons, such as A rank, were basically treasure troves. Mana crystals could be sold for thousands or even hundreds of thousands. High-ranking hunters had already secured their financial futures. Han Yu-hyan was the most popular man in Korea. He was orphaned at a young age and grew up poor. However, when he awakened in high school, he founded the Abyss Guild and established himself as the guild master. Currently 25 years old, his wealth was astronomical. The host then suddenly asked Hunter Yumi if she was as rich as Yu-hyan. Flustered, as an E-ranker, she denied it but reassured the audience that she would make it and earn enough money to pay for her younger siblings' tuition. Then, the TV made an abrupt announcement that Hunter Yumi had died in a dungeon raid that morning. Although hunting had its benefits, it also came with a high risk of death. The scene shifted to a gate that had appeared underneath a bridge. The public was blocked off by guards barricading the area. Aranga then called for his boss. When he finally got a hold of the old man, he inquired why there was an F rank joining their hunt, pointing to Han Yujin, an F-class hunter with the title of a caregiver. Yujin smiled and asked them to go easy on him, as he also needed to make a living. The Ranga continued to push his buttons despite the old man assuring him that there was no other hunter as cheap as Yujin. The Ranga taunted Yujin, calling him a piece of trash and a parasite that brought bad luck, which was why he was always the sole survivor of party wipes. The Ranga speculated that this might be the reason Yujin's younger brother had abandoned him, not even visiting when Yujin smashed up his leg. Annoyed, Yujin grabbed the Ranga by the shirt and warned him to shut up. The Ranga initially pleaded guilty but then kicked Yujin in the stomach with the strength of a D ranker. As an F ranker, Yujin was much weaker and succumbed to the attack. The Ranga made sure Yujin knew his place and walked off with a grin. Frustrated and weak, Yujin cursed at himself. The boss came over and started healing him, scolding him for getting injured before they even entered the dungeon. The boss strengthened Yujin's bones, as that was his skill, and advised him not to give it much thought. He reminded Yujin that he was weak and dependent on the D-rankers in this hunt, which was why he needed to hold back. Yujin smiled up at the boss and assured him that he would do as advised, expressing his gratitude for being allowed to tag along with the party. The boss, flustered by Yujin's recognition, smiled back. Yujin watched as the boss followed his plans. He then proceeded to show his status window to look at his skills, and the boss, Lim Sequo, was successfully added to his influence targets. They then entered the gate.